Hi, everybody. It's Deanna Lay here today with another fantastic IKAGG interview. Today, my amazing guest is the Kristin Roser of Kristin and Co. Organizing. And friends, if you have stuff, Kristin is for sure the one to call, and we're going to hear all about why. So, Kristin, tell me a little bit about yourself and why organizing?
Yeah, so thanks for having me. This is so much fun. I love doing this. Um, yeah, I have always been that kid. I always was that kid that was super, super organized, organizing my clothes by color and season and all the things until I hit teenage. And then my mom loves when I tell this story, but we used to get into arguments about that when I grew up and had my own place, my carpet was going to be my clothes.
Oh,
And there wasn't a thing she could do about it. So the irony of having a professional or home and business organizing company, it makes her smile
I bet
for
it does.
sure.
I bet it
Yeah,
does. We all have to go through our phase, to find
we
out what
do. We do. Absolutely.
what- how'd you
But
get
I oh, sorry. Yeah, how to get started? So a couple of years ago, again back when I got into my adult life, I was back with the tidiness and the organization and all that until a couple of years ago, and I looked around the house and I was like, what happened? How did all this stuff get here? And there is psychology behind, the our outer spaces affecting our inner calm or not. And it was definitely not. And so I just went to town on my house. I started with my home office. That was the biggest frustration point for me. I would walk in here and turn around and walk back out. So I always say that my business was formed out of the frustration of my own home office. And I realized how much I love doing it, and then was all doing it for friends and family as well. And I was like, you know what? This could be actually a business. A friend of mine suggested it, and 4 weeks later, we had our first client. So yeah, it was exciting.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. So I love that you talk about the frustration of just being done. When you're looking around and there's no organization or you don't have a rhyme or reason for where things are. I'm a pile lover. Like I know where my stuff is. It's in piles somewhere.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I can look through the piles and find things pretty quickly, but that's really not organized. I mean, so what do you specialize in? Tell me how you can help people like me who as my way of doing things, thinks that it works well, but really it's probably causing me more frustration than not.
Well, sure. Well, first I'll say there's organizing is not one size fits all. So if we were just talking before we came on about like, my dad's organizing system, it's super detailed and very, very what we call micro organized. It's got a file for every single thing. And that works for him, right? That doesn't work for me. I like to know I have a home folder and there's all my things. Um, So just with working with folks, we love to be able to help, whether it's a whole home declutter and organization, or it's an office with paperwork, garages, we do sheds, we do it all. And it's really important to us to have the function side of it as well as the beauty, right? Because if something, you see all the pictures online and all, it's just a Pinterest ready pantry, and that is achievable, but it's got to function first. So no matter what space somebody is doing, we kind of ask for what's the intention of this space and how do you want it to function? How do you want it to be organized? And then we just kind of go through our process.
That's interesting. So you don't do a one size fits all, it sounds like. You don't say, this is my way of organizing and this is the way it's going to be done. So what does
Absolutely
it look
not.
like to hire you? You have a consult first or share your process?
Yes, yes. So first we have what we call a tidy talk. So that's a 15-20 minute, just super like casual phone call. And then from there, we schedule an in-home consultation. And so I go to the home, I see it visually. It helps with a whole lot of things, right? Just being able to see the space, to see the volume of things. And then I customize proposals for every single client. I've yet in business to find two clients or two spaces or even two projects that are identical. So I'm not going to put somebody into a, cookie cutter package. I customize it for their needs. And then we schedule the sessions. I schedule my team, and we show up on the first day, and we have our process. It's an empty, sort, purge, contain, and label, right? So you got to purge it before we kind of joke. We can't organize clutter, but we can help you declutter and then we can organize. So,
Fantastic. That's so true. Yeah, I don't
yeah,
want to just move my stuff into different places.
yeah.
I want to have less stuff when by the time you leave. So that makes perfect sense. So what do you love? What do you love about what you do? I guess I can probably guess it, but there's probably a lot of different aspects about what you love. So I'd love to hear.
Yeah. Well, the first, and I know this is kind of cliche, but it's 100% true, is that I actually get to help people in a major, major way. It's a huge transformation. The folks that are calling us, they may have been wanting to do this for a decade. We had a client earlier this year, and she's been wanting this for a decade, but just overwhelmed, didn't know what to do, didn't know where to go. And so the fact that we're even talking first, it's a really, really big deal. So we want to make sure that everybody is comfortable and we're able to, take that burden off of them. So the helping aspect is super important, but then also just the end of the transformation, because when we leave it is done. Like we schedule a project so it's enough days and enough people, so whatever you're hiring us for, when we leave, we're taking donations with us, we're taking trash with us, we're taking it all, so it's a finished 100% finished space. And just being able to walk those clients through their spaces, you literally see their shoulders relax.
Wow.
And it's that just feeling, that the word I get all the time, I feel so relieved,
Oh,
relieved,
sweet.
and to be able to feel, I have chills, but being able to help clients through that transformation or a transition time, maybe a spouse died or the child has gone off to college, they're empty nesters or moving, we do a lot of move management, relocation services too.
Okay, so you're dealing with a ton of emotions with what you do and
Lots.
how you do it. And so, what have you found has been something that has made you most successful in working with clients who might, again, have this fear of judgment? They're stressed out. They've been looking at this clutter for a decade and worried that when somebody else comes in they're going to lose a part of themselves. Like what can you speak to as far as that's concerned? Because I'm sure anybody watching this knows of that particular space where they don't let anybody see it because
Yeah, we
they
all we all have it. Even the professional organizers have it. We have that, right? And it happens. The difference is that we get to be able to tidy it up a little faster. But you're right, with the emotion side of it, it's 100% no judgment ever. My team and I are very, very big on compassion, kindness, and we meet clients where they are. Some might say, I'm ready to just throw everything out and I just need some help getting it in bags, and some people, it's a story about every single thing. And so we're not on any like timeline either, because if not everybody makes decisions as quickly. And so we get to be able to kind of sit back and listen to these really fun, interesting stories about the most interesting things. So
I bet. Oh, it's fantastic. Well, and just knowing how good you are at what you do, you have a huge social media presence. So being able to see what you do beginning, before and afters, it really helps build that trust as well, that you know what you're doing, and then having the experience behind you to work through the emotions of it with people. I'm sure you're kind of like counselor, organizer, decorator.
yes. Yeah, it is. It's a lot of listening. I mean, there are times when we're there for 6 hours and three of it, it's just listening. It's just listening to stories, and that was hard for me actually in the beginning of the business, because I was like, okay, I want to get this done and help this person and get to the end. And I had to really kind of slow it down and understand that just how I felt a number of years ago is how this person feels right now: overwhelmed, judged, guilt, shame, all of the feelings. And so it's my job, it's my honor to be able to sit and share these stories with folks. So
Yeah, all part of the process for sure.
yes, definitely.
So, what is one thing you would tell a new business owner just starting out? I know you've been around for a few years, but I'm sure there were some pain points when you were first getting started, or some really great things too. What would you tell somebody who's thinking about starting a business?
Yeah, start. Like literally start. Take action, do it. Don't do it imperfectly. Try something. If it doesn't work, try something different. That literally is my story. Like tried a thing or a CRM or whatever it may have been, and wasn't quite right to begin with. And then also, it's like building a course. in a vacuum. You don't know what your potential clients need until you actually are working with them. So being able to kind of position your offer and the packages that we have and how we do things, the all-inclusive nature of that. I didn't know any of that in the beginning, but I had to just start. I was telling somebody just last week actually about the first time I walked into a house and it was a pantry and a closet and a garage, and I'd never done a garage except my own. I was like, oh wow. But I didn't say no, we don't do that. I said we're gonna do this and we're gonna learn together. So just start. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, there's no such thing as perfect. That's for sure. Even
No,
in the organizing world, there's no
no,
such thing as perfect. There are things that
that's
are
right.
they put together that are perfect for you, but yeah, a lot of things in this world. If you wait for something to be perfect, chances are you're gonna be waiting a really, really long time. So
You got it. You got it.
now I see here that you're a reader. So if you had to recommend one book for somebody to read, what would you recommend?
So I've got to say, I didn't used to be a reader. When I started my business, I was like, I need to learn a lot of things. And full disclosure, I read some, but I listen to books a lot. I love doing that. I
I
can
guess
multitask.
it's still reading. It's just reading with our ears.
That's right. And I'll go back to I'll read a book or listen to a book again and again. But the one I'm loving right now, it's called Clockwork by
Mhm.
Mike Bacalowitz. He also wrote the Profit First book and
Yeah,
has some other books as well. Are you like, of course you follow
at
Profit
first.
First?
Listen
Yeah.
at first.
Yeah. Um, and he's witty, he's funny, but it's about your business and ways to scale and grow. In fact, he doesn't like using the word scale, he calls it grow. And I love that because scale is a very on trend word right now. And
I
at the
do
end of the day,
like
you're growing.
crow. I do like crow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, I'll have to look that up. I didn't know he had a second book out. And anybody who can makes accounting funny, which is what he did with Profit First, I thought, okay,
Totally.
well, I like this guy.
Yeah.
Good stuff. So, as far as great connections for you, I'm guessing anybody in the home space, probably home services industry, that come across somebody who, maybe even a house cleaner, because a lot of home cleaners don't do organizing. That's not
Yes.
their specialty. So, who else would be a great fit for you, a good referral partner?
Yeah, you nailed it. Any home service adjacent, basically. And we work with cleaners. I got a call last week from one. She's in a client's home and couldn't do the cleaning until it was decluttered, right? So we're able to kind of work like that. But the folks that would be a really great connection, especially right now, are our realtors, or mortgage, lenders, brokers, et cetera, because there are so many people that are moving to and from the area. And I talked to two today, and both of them were like, well, I just got to throw things in boxes and we just got here and now I have all this stuff and I didn't even want to bring it.
Hmm.
So we're able to help out both on the front side and on the unpack side too. So
Oh, that's fascinating. Yeah, I think about when you're getting ready to put your house up for sale,
yeah,
decluttering is huge, even, getting things organized, and people have to be able to see their stuff in your space. And if your
you
stuff
got it.
everywhere, it's gonna really make it hard to sell. But I just thought about that. Yeah, when you're getting ready to move, you get down to the wire, you're literally throwing things in
Literally.
boxes, and then you get to your new house and you're super excited and you open up this box, it's got junk in it. So you can help with that. You do that kind of thing too?
Absolutely. Yeah. We declutter on the front side and help stage, if it needs to be set up for listings. And then if they are moving it locally here in town, actually, we were actually working with somebody all across the state. So we can travel to wherever to unpack you as well. A lot of folks use the declutter on one end, and then like different clients use us when they get here and they realize that they need to declutter and unpack and get it all organized and set up systems. That's really important.
Yeah, it's huge. Yeah. If you're going to move into a new house, have the system set up from the get-go so you can get used to it for sure.
That's right.
Before we part ways and we hear about how people can best get in touch with you, do you want to talk about your team for a minute? Just to share.
I'd love to. I
Not
have the
just
best
you
team.
walking in. I know you could probably do it all by yourself because you're superwoman, but you do have help, right?
I do. I started this business by myself and in May, and by like October, November, decided I want to have a team. I've played team sports my whole life. I loved team groups at school, all the things. But I also realized that folks today are very, very, very busy. And to have a project draw out, a day this week, another day next week, and so on,
Yeah.
I was getting the response of, I need your help, but I need it next week. And so I brought on the team. And so now we are able to do that. So what would be a 4-day project by myself might be a day and a half or two with 2 or 3 organizers. So we can get it done much more quickly, much more efficiently. But my team, I have the best team, and I came about them all innocently. Some was like, uh, referring from friends, and they saw my post on social, and just we have fun, and that comes across to the client because it's scary and it's daunting, but to have some folks who are coming in and having some fun with you, it's a much more tolerable a lot of times process, and
Yeah.
dare I even say fun. So
Oh, I would think it would be fun, especially if you're surrounded with people who you love working with as well. And
yeah,
I know you. I'm sure you make it fun, even
no
though
thanks.
it can be a a long, tough process. I'm sure that, gosh, you find a way to do things in the best, most efficient, and the most fun possible. So, I want to
Thank
work
you.
with you. I would,
Yeah, we'd have so much fun.
you know. Yeah, I would not consider myself an organizer by trade. I do like to organize other people's stuff. Now, my own,
No, yeah,
yeah. Anytime I go somewhere, stay at a family member's house or something, I always reorganize their pantry. It's kind of
that's
what
awesome.
I'm known for. I don't use the little things like you do with the labels, but yeah, if you ever need somebody and I ever move out to Wilmington,
You're my girl. I love it.
or anything else you want to share before we wrap up?
Think so. I think it's just really exciting to be a business owner these days, and being able to help folks and have a team, and just the transformation of the folks that we get to be part of. It's an honor. It really is.
Super sweet. I love it. And I know you mean it. You all follow her on social media. You want to see somebody who's doing it right and is inspiring to watch, not only as a fellow business owner, but as somebody who is a smidge addicted to the befores and afters and all of the fun videos and posts that she makes. She's great to watch. So, Kristin
Thank
and
you.
organizing, how can people get in touch with you if they want to find out more about your services?
Yeah, so on both Facebook and Instagram, I'm Kristin and Co organizing. The and is spelled out. And then on the World Wide Web, I'm Kristin and Co organizing.com, also and spelled out. So you can see all the fun stuff there.
There you go. Well, that's the easiest way to get in touch with her, friends. You can also look in IKAGG directory to get in touch with her as well. But yeah, follow her on social media. Give her all the likes and the follows and the
Oh,
comments, because that helps with all the things we know. And
that's right.
otherwise, just know if you have any realtors in your life, anybody in the home services industry, please have them reach out to Kristin, because she can help you look that much better when you recommend her to your clients and customers. So,
Awesome.
anything else?
That's it. No, I think we're good.
I think we're good too. Well, everybody, thank you so much for joining us again on the IKAGG interview. Kristin, it has been an absolute pleasure. You're always so fun to talk to. If anybody needs you, I know you'll get right back in touch with them. So have a
Yes.
fantastic day, everybody. Bye, friend.
Bye.